Hi Libra, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Libra, this is for you. Remember, they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody. That is just fine. Always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you have... I also wanted to say as well, for those of you that are continued subbies, you know Rafi loves ya. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit the subscribe button. And it is also worth mentioning, if you are new to my channel, here in the Reydiant Nation, I talk about everything in life. The whole full spectrum is what you're going to get here. It's not all just love, it's not all just money, it's not all just career, it's everything. And as a part of that, when it's good, I'm going to tell you. When it's not so good, I'm going to tell you. And if that is the case and you're the sort of person that gets anxious about heavy predictions, etc., this is not the channel for you. All right, and I say that out of all love, care, courtesy and respect. It just isn't, right? If you want somebody that's going to gloss over all of that stuff, this is not the place for you to be. All right, there are many people out there that will be able to serve you much better than I. For your key to the week, you've got the Chariot card. So I think it was Taurus that had this card, right? This is a speed up card. Whenever this card shows up, it means that life is about to get busy, right? So there's a lot going on for you guys this week in all of these different areas of life. You're going to see fast developments. You're going to see fast movement. And what it also suggests as well is this week you are going to get some kind of breakthrough energy showing up in all of these different areas. Remember, the Chariot is victory and success. Now, if you know you're headed towards that, stay on the course that you are. But remember, if you're already hurtling down the road at 80 miles an hour, you don't then put your foot down and go even faster, right? You know, well, certainly not here in the UK. We have a speed limit, and that speed limit is 70. So do you see and what I mean by this is, if it's already going in that direction, you don't have to push it even harder, right? This is not things are already going to speed up. Don't try to speed them up more yourself. For your actions and options this week, you have the Page of Wands, right? So it looks like a lot of you have been waiting on messages, paperwork, documentation, letters of some sort, letters of recommendation, letters of acceptance, letters of, results, all of that stuff. The letters or the information that you've been waiting for in paperwork or documental form is making its way to you over the course of this week. So that's really great. In terms of the options that are available to you, you get a chance to use your creative power, mind and solutions driven energies this week, right? You get to show the world, people, the boss, etc., just why you are the person to be counted upon in a crisis or with any sort of challenge. And that a part of that is because you have a level of creativity. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords is a battle card. You've got the Chariot card. Be careful here, because remember, the opposite to the Chariot is the Tower, which means if you try to force it, Queen of Swords, the chances are you can end up breaking something. Things are already speeding up. They're already going in your favor. They're already heading in the direction that you want them to. Exercise a little bit of patience and allow them to deliver you to where they are. I'm not saying don't defend your viewpoint. It's the Queen of Swords, you're going to have to. But what I am saying is there's a difference between defending yourself and going after somebody. All right. Now that Queen of Swords, it can also show up where we know what we know, but the way that we deliver that is not necessarily the best way to do it. For those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this with the Page of Wands, I'm going to be really honest with you, just because we think something is a good idea doesn't always mean that it is. So if someone says to you, that's okay, but can you try something else? Don't take it personally. Creativity is understanding that, you know what, maybe my first draft isn't going to be the perfect one. I will continue to work on it. Your sign does have a, everyone talks about Virgos having a perfectionist streak. Nowhere near as much as as the Librans among you. I'm sorry to say, but Libra has a really powerful perfectionist streak. Now, for those of you that are employed by somebody else, it does, so like this week, there's a possibility that you are having to use that creativity and your wordplay to get what you want. There's going to need to be some intelligent and some smart maneuvering this week. This is kind of like one of those, like one of my favorite mottos is I'll play the game, I'll even play it by your rules, but when you lose, don't get mad at me. This kind of feels like that, right? It's like you're playing within the confines of all of the rules and regulations, but you are determined to win, and it looks like you will find a creative way to do so. Fantastic. Just, you know, check yourself before you wreck yourself. When it comes to your those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, the Queen of Swords for you guys, especially with the Page of Wands, this could be where you get a correspondence of some sort from another business, from a client, or etc., whatever the case might be. And it might not be something that you are happy with, that you will accept, that you want, and you might kind of deliberate over it for a while, and then you kind of say, no, you know what, and now actually I'm pissed off that you even asked. There are ways to get around this, all right? And so a calm and steady approach is really going to be the best way forward. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, this it does suggest to me that you've had a conversation about something within the familial sphere, around some kind of paperwork, some kind of documentation, maybe around a will or an estate, maybe even around some form of property. Now, this could be anything up to and including a house or some land, but something that is a property, an heirloom, all of that kind of thing. And there's a part of you here that seems to be questioning this. It's like, this is how I want to proceed with it, but maybe you're getting kickback or pushback from somewhere. And then when it comes to your love and relations, you've got the Magician card. If you are single and you are connecting with someone this week, this could be somebody that's very powerful, somebody that's very well known, somebody that's very creative. It could be an air sign person, probably a Gemini, possibly a Virgo. If I'm honest though, with the Magician card, because the Magician does have an element of being the trickster, and you've got this Chariot card here, I will say there are either traits to this person that they're not showing you, i.e. they can be a bit of a control freak, from 1 to Libra, so you guys have that in common. I'm joking, mostly. But it could just as easily be that this person is not giving you the full story. And so just keep your wits about you. Don't jump into anything too fast. All right. And then for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, this could be some kind of advancement in the life of the partner's work career or your career that creates a little bit of, maybe not resentment, but there's a chance that it creates a little bit of tension, and it might be because of the schedule clash. So if you've been the one that stays at home with the kids all this time, and then suddenly you get this really amazing job that means you're going to be out doing the 9 to 5, maybe even earning a bit more than your partner, there is a possibility that it might cause some friction. And you need to get to the bottom as to why very quickly. For those of you, when it comes to your money and materials, you have the High Priestess. So there is something hidden that's coming to light around finances this week. These are all very big cards, by the way. There is a fast financial development that shows up. There's a lot of Cancer energy here as well, because you've got the High Priestess, which is the moon, and you've also got the Chariot card, which is Cancer. So there's a lot of Cancerian energy in this, which is another cardinal sign that you guys share that in common. The High Priestess is hidden things revealed, and it's also your intuitive or instinctual sort of abilities. Because you've got the Magician card here as well, there's some kind of practice, manifestation technique. There's something that you're learning this week that, quite frankly, and I don't say this lightly, if you've been with me long enough, you know this. there's some technique that you're learning this week that this is real magic, right? You know, the stuff that works, right? The stuff that there's something that's being shared with you, imparted with you. It will be behind the scenes. I am going to say, if somebody shares with you a particular secret of theirs or something that they are using, honor and respect the share, which means keep your mouth shut. This is not for you to pass on to other people. I never forget, years ago, this is a long time ago now, I remember a reading that I had. And I say it was a reading that I had. It was actually a reading that I did for myself. One of the things that Tarot basically said to me was, what you are currently learning is for you and for you only. And the reason you are being given this information now is because you've done the level of work that it requires to get to this point. There's some kind of manifesting financial secret or knowledge or wisdom that's being shared with you this week that is not for just anybody's ears. So whatever it is, you got to keep it stum this week. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is going to be your stomach. All right, your stomach and your chest in particular. Not to say that there's anything wrong there, but this with the chariot card, you just, really look after yourself this week in those areas of life. Well, obviously, I'm not a doctor. I can't give you medical advice. It's not a diagnosis. When it comes to your home and the fact that I even have to say that, but you know what? I'm going to say it because I'm going to cover myself and my bases. When it comes to your home and environment, this is a development that is happening behind the scenes that you are being very, very tight-lipped about. I'm intrigued by this because it looks like you're getting a correspondence here around something that potentially you have wanted for a long time, possibly even something that you had lost. And maybe there was no way that this was going to happen. It wasn't a possibility, yada, 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 whatever the case might be. So it will be interesting to see how this moves forward. Obviously, you won't be able to let me know in the comments, but I look forward to... if this shows up in the way that I think it's going to show up, and you guys know what I'm talking about, just put a wink in the comments. That's it. And I will know, you will know, we know. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me... All right. Take care. I'll see you soon.